If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's a creation tool that allows you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many other platforms. You can make money from your podcast with no minimal listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
Good morning, everyone. So it's really quick. Just wanted to touch base with everyone kind of thing. So about 8:10 on Friday night, I had something amazing come across in my email, and I just wanted to share it. As you know, that I have been really struggling with the fact that the Australian government did not it was in the Victorian government. So it's happening at the moment in Victoria and Tasmania. Gagging laws were put in place in relation to victims of child abuse, rape victims, particularly the fact that anyone who has committed a crime or has been to jail and is guilty had the ability to be protected under laws. Now, the reason that they said that this happened was due to the fact that they were amending a law that they felt would protect victims that didn't want to be released in the media. But by invoking and changing all those laws and regulations, they basically were suppressing victims who do want to tell their story. It took me a really long time, and I'm talking like years, to come to terms with the fact that I was a victim of child abuse, child sexual abuse, and it took me a really long time with a whole range of factors. Like, it turned my life upside down to be able to not feel like a victim still, identify myself as a victim but as a survivor. Now, normally when something like this would happen, I would take it as a deflated point, and I would crawl into bed or fall into a heap, and it would be probably one of my downturns or falls from being able to deal with a situation. But in fact, this probably gave me, for the first time in my life, I probably had enough gumption and backing in within myself that I wanted to try and say something and be heard. So 310 emails were sent out to members of Parliament within Victoria. One Liberal actually answered me and 2 Labor, and I was told that as much as they felt and had sadness in what I had to say, there wasn't really much they could do within their limitations, and it really comes down to the Attorney General. So I didn't. I let it be. And 8:10 on Friday night, a letter was emailed to me personally by the Attorney General, and that is the Honourable Jill Hennessy, who is the Senior Minister of the Victorian Government. And she basically turned around and said to me that she recognised and she was applauding me on being an advocate on this issue. To say that it wasn't spectacularly fantastic to actually be heard, she then went on about the fact that they will be fast-tracking the laws to be changed before the end of the year. They still will suppress victims who do not want to be named in the media in the event that there is a court case in place, which I totally agree with, because some people can't cope with their name being put out there, and it is their story to tell, and in time that might change, but they should always be given that right to say their piece. This gag order that's going to be changed and lifted basically will give people like myself who do have a book that will be released the option to be able to do so. Now, I never, ever, ever contemplated naming other people in this book, but it was a self-recognizing point that I wanted to be able to still name myself. So it was like a win, but it wasn't just a win for myself. It was a win for all those people that don't have a voice yet, or all those people that, look, it literally takes years to comprehend what happened, and you have to personally go through so many emotions, feelings, situations, and it does take a toll on your mental health. Like, I'm not going to pretend that it's all roses and gardens and, you know, life's just fantastic because you go, yeah, this happened to me and it wasn't my fault, because you don't ever detach from that guilt or that stigma or that feeling until you work through a whole range of processes. But it was a really, really, really empowering moment for myself that actually I was a voice that could stand up and yell and scream, and somebody actually listened to me, and someone actually said to me, no, you know, you're doing the right thing. So I just really wanted to just touch base and just say that this is a really big thing to me, but it's a win, and you guys have had to listen to the podcast and listen to the endless posts that I've had going on in relation to my anger about these changes. So I wanted to give an update, and I wanted to share the information that yeah, I was heard, and we are still living in a country where you do have the ability to stand up and still be one voice and be able to say, hey, this isn't fair and this isn't good. And I hope that by having these laws changed, you know, that young girl that went to a party and drank too much and something happened to her, she's not going to feel that she doesn't have a voice and that she can't say this happened to me, or I'm scared, or I'm not coping, or I need help. And I feel very proud of myself that, like, for the first time in my life, I didn't care what people thought. I was going to yell, scream, and say what I had to say. And you guys have all been part of this whole process or journey, so to speak. So I wanted to share the news with you. That was really all I wanted to touch base on for today, and I will be doing another podcast in later on in the day, just on another topic. But if anyone's got any feedback or they have anything they want to say, please feel free to get in contact. Thank you.